Hi, I'm Deepu Patel from the class of 1981, and I'm going to be showing you how to make a chicken pulao today. I do a similar version for vegetarian option where I use seitan, so I half the recipe. This recipe ideally serves about 4 to 5 people as a main course, but if you choose to serve it like a thali or family style with a couple of other dishes added, you can serve almost up to 8 people with this. Indian cuisine is famous for its rice and spice meat dishes, and in today's fast paced world, they're ideal because they're one pot meal. There is often confusion about what constitutes a biryani or what constitutes a pulao. They share many aspects, and there are certainly a lot of similarities in the techniques. But the primary difference is that a biryani is made up of alternating layers of partially cooked rice and fully cooked meat, similar to a lasagna. Whereas in a pulao, the rice and partially cooked spiced meat are combined and finished together. Whether a biryani or a pulao, they share a certain number of steps and techniques. The first step is marination. The meat or chicken is marinated in yogurt, salt, and turmeric from 30 minutes up to 24 hours. Okay, so um, these are all the fresh ingredients up at the top that I'll be using. So we have onions, we have chopped ginger. This is garlic. I have some garlic paste, so I'm gonna use it, but otherwise you would chop that up. Some green chilies. These are the spicy Indian green chilies. The recipe doesn't call for green chilies, but I like spicy, so I'm throwing a couple in. And I chop them very fine so you don't get a big chunk in your mouth. I love the use of cilantro, both in cooking as well as a garnish. I take the stems as well. It's not just the leaves because the stems have a lot of flavor. The whole dried spices that go into the garam masala. We have a couple of bay leaves. These are slightly different from the Western bay leaves that you get in the grocery stores. Uh, they have a slightly different aroma. Then this is cassia bark, which is similar to cinnamon. And we have a couple of, well, about 8 cloves, 2 black cardamom, and about 8 green cardamom. All these whole spices are bloomed in oil to release the flavors and the aromas into the rice and the chicken when we add them. So the for the 2 cardamom, the black and the green, you should pound them so that they crack open and the seeds, which you can see here, will release into the oil. These dried whole spices are used to flavor the chicken and the pulao. Okay, so I have 2 cups of rice here. This is basmati rice, which is very long and fragrant, and it won't gum up like sushi rice or like the rice used for risottos. So we need to wash it. Sort of run your fingers through it like that until the water becomes cloudy. Drain and then repeat 2 more times. Then leave to soak for 20 minutes. The second similarity in both biryanis and pulaus is the blooming of spices in hot oil and ghee. I've used about 3 tablespoons of ghee and a few teaspoons of oil, into which I'll drop the whole dried spices and then the onions. By blooming the spices in hot oil, we enhance the flavor of the pulao, release all their delicate aromas, and infuse them into the pulao. The third step that is shared by both biryanis and pulaus is caramelizing the onions or browning them to produce a rich flavor base. Browning the onions is one of the most integral steps in Indian cooking. If you do not achieve the deep, rich color, you don't get the flavor as well. As the onions brown, they shrink, and we're almost ready to add the ginger and garlic and green chilies. I'm going ahead now and adding the green chilies and the ginger. I'll add the garlic last because it tends to burn and it's brown, so it sticks to the pan and burns. Okay, so every Indian household has its masala dabba, and these are the basic spices we use all the time. And I'm sure a lot of you who are familiar with Indian cooking will recognize a lot of the spices. So the pulao recipe, all we need is these four: turmeric, red chili powder, cumin powder, coriander powder, and they burn very easily. So to prevent that, I'm adding a little water. 1 teaspoon turmeric powder, 1 teaspoon red chili powder, 1 teaspoon cumin powder, 1 teaspoon coriander powder. Give this a good stir, and if necessary, add water. Oh, all the aromas are being released, and the kitchen is flooding with all the spices. This is the fourth step shared by biryanis and pulaus, the blooming or bhunoing of the powdered spices to create an aromatic masala. When the oil separates from the masala, we are ready to add the chicken. Bhuno or fry the chicken and masala for a few minutes. Then add 2 cups of water and or stock and bring to a boil. Okay, now that the chicken has boiled for about 10 minutes, I'm going to add the rice, which I had soaked after rinsing and washing for about 20 minutes and drained. After adding the rice, we add the chopped cilantro and combine the rice, the curry, and the cilantro. Sprinkle in some garam masala powder as well. Lovely fragrance of all the spices and the cilantro, the fresh herby hit of cilantro. It's just smelling so good. I wish you could smell it. Now I'm adding some more water for the rice to cook. At this point, I suggest we taste the liquid for salt, because the only salt that we've added has been in the marinade. The liquid should taste extra salty so that the rice absorbs the salt and the pulao is perfectly seasoned. Once it comes to a boil, let it cook for a further 5 to 8 minutes until only a few small bubbles remain. Then cover and steam on low for 5 minutes until it's cooked. Once the rice is ready, fully steamed, take it off the heat and let it rest for about 10 minutes before serving. After serving, garnish it with some chopped cilantro and a squeeze of lemon. Well, I've had a lot of fun showing you how to make chicken pulao. I hope you enjoy it.